Eli wiped the sweat from his forehead as he stared at the endless expanse of stars through the viewport. The derelict alien station floated silently in the void, like a corpse drifting in the ocean. He adjusted his toolkit belt and double-checked his breathing mask. This mission seemed simple enough. Explore the abandoned station, recover any data or resources, and return to the ship. But something about the station made his stomach tighten. Eli called Commander Harris over the comm link. "Stay close. We don't know what's inside, so don't wander off." "I got it," Eli replied, though a shiver ran down his spine. He stepped carefully onto the station's metal surface, which creaked under his boots. Strange blue lights flickered along the walls, illuminating alien symbols that pulsed faintly like a heartbeat. He took a deep breath and entered the first corridor, careful not to touch anything unnecessarily. The air inside was thin, but breathable. The station had obviously been abandoned for decades. Panels were scorched, wires dangled from the ceiling, and small fires long extinguished left dark streaks on the walls. Eli approached a console in the center of the main chamber. It was covered in dust, but its screen flickered faintly. "Looks like someone or something was still alive in here not too long ago," he muttered, running a gloved hand over the controls. Sparks jumped from a broken wire, making him step back. He pressed a button and the console hummed to life. Lights danced across the room, reflecting on the polished surfaces. His scanner beeped, detecting an energy source deep inside the station. Curious, Eli followed the signal. Then, without warning, a beam of energy shot out from the wall. Eli stumbled back, his chest hitting the metal floor with a heavy thud. Pain shot through him, but it was not sharp, more like a burning tingle under his skin. He froze, realizing he could feel something moving inside him. He touched his chest and his fingers came away glowing faintly. A symbol, glowing in pale blue, had appeared across his sternum. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat, and he could feel warmth radiating from it. "Commander, I think something just hit me," Eli said into the comm. His voice shook. I don't know what it did, but there's something here now." The scanner went wild. The mark on his chest seemed to be interacting with the station's systems. Panels lit up and strange symbols projected into the air around him. Eli felt a strange energy flow through him, as if the station recognized him. Before he could make sense of it, a soft humming echoed through the corridor. Eli looked up to see a chamber bathed in silver light. Inside lay a figure, a woman encased in a stasis pod. Her armor was elegant, shimmering, and unlike anything he had ever seen. Tubes and cables ran across her body, feeding energy into her suit. She was still, but her presence filled the room with a sense of command. Eli's curiosity outweighed his fear. He carefully approached the pod, scanning it for life signs. His device beeped frantically. The woman's vital signs were faint, almost dormant, but definitely alive. "Sir, you need to see this," Eli said into the comm. "There's someone in stasis here. She looks incredible. Definitely not human." The command team on the ship argued about whether they should intervene. Eli ignored them. His instincts told him to act. He pressed the pod's release button. The lid slowly hissed open and the woman's eyes snapped open. Eli froze. Her eyes were an intense shade of violet, glowing faintly in the dim light. She looked at him as though she could see every secret he had ever held. And then she froze completely, staring at the mark on his chest. "No, impossible," she whispered. Her voice was musical with a metallic edge. She took a cautious step forward. "That mark, human, that mark binds you to me forever." Eli's mind raced. "Binds me? Wait, what are you talking about?" She didn't answer immediately. She knelt slowly, hands trembling slightly. Her gaze never left the glowing symbol. "The seal of the bond. It has chosen you," she said softly. "I thought it would never appear again, and yet it has chosen a human." Eli stumbled backward, feeling a wave of panic. "I don't understand. I'm just a mechanic. I don't belong here. I don't belong to you." The woman shook her head. "It is not about what you think you are. The bond is older than empires, older than stars, and now it lives in you." Eli tried to speak, but the words caught in his throat. The mark throbbed in response, as if alive, and he could feel warmth spreading through his chest. A strange tingling sensation ran through his veins. For a moment he felt like his mind was no longer entirely his own. Memories, emotions, and images flickered in his consciousness. He saw stars being torn apart, civilizations crumbling, and a single figure standing victorious. And in that vision, the woman knelt beside him, her armor shining with energy. He shook his head violently, trying to rid himself of the images. I don't know what this is, he admitted, his voice trembling. I don't understand what's happening. She reached out, her fingers brushing the glowing mark. The moment she touched it, Eli felt a jolt run through his body. For a second, it felt like their thoughts were merging. He felt her fear, her hope, and a determination that could move mountains. You feel it too, she said, her voice softer now. The bond. It is awakening. It has chosen us, and soon, the universe will know our connection. Eli stumbled backward. Connection? Wait. You mean I'm... What part of your world? Her eyes softened, almost pleading. Not yet. But you will be. Fate has chosen you, human, and now, we cannot deny it. Suddenly, alarms blared through the station. Red lights flashed, and metallic clanging echoed from deep within the corridors. The station's automated defenses had activated. Drones emerged from hidden ports hovering in the air, energy weapons charging. Eli glanced at the woman, fear and disbelief written across his face. They're coming, she said, standing with surprising speed. Her armor shifted, glowing patterns lighting up her chest and arms. If we don't move, they will destroy you. And if they destroy you, the bond will be lost forever. Eli hesitated, looking at the glowing symbol on his chest. He had no idea what it meant or how it worked. But the woman was acting as though it was the most important thing in existence. Against his better judgment, he nodded. Okay, he said. Lead the way. I'll follow. She took his hand, cold but strangely comforting, and pulled him forward. As they ran down the corridor, drones fired blasts that lit up the walls. She moved with incredible speed and precision, deflecting the blasts with energy blades that appeared from her gauntlets. Every time Eli was in danger, the mark flared, and he felt a sudden surge of strength, his reflexes sharpening. The station shuddered, groaning as if alive, and Eli realized that the mark was more than a symbol. It was a connection, linking him to the woman in ways he didn't understand. He could feel her intent in his mind. When she moved, he anticipated her actions, and when she fought, he instinctively ducked and dodged. By the time they reached a secure chamber, the drones were behind them, temporarily disabled by some energy pulse from the woman. Eli leaned against the wall, gasping for breath, trying to process everything. You saved me, he said, finally breaking the silence. I did what I must, she replied, her eyes glowing faintly. And now, you must understand. This bond is not a choice. It is destiny, and it has chosen you. Eli shook his head, staring at the mark. The glowing symbol pulsed slowly, almost like a heartbeat. His heart raced, and he realized that whatever this bond was, it had just changed his life forever. And deep inside, a small part of him wondered, was he ready for what came next? The chamber hummed with a strange energy, the air thick and warm from the glowing mark on Eli's chest. Tirana, the alien warrior, stepped back from him for a moment, her violet eyes never leaving the glowing symbol. For a human, Eli looked like any other man, but now he felt different. The warmth of the mark, the tingling in his chest, and the strange pull toward Tirana made him dizzy. You need to understand something, Tirana said softly. That mark, it is no ordinary symbol. It binds souls together, the seal of the bond. It chooses only one partner for life, and now, it has chosen you. Eli's head spun. Cho chooses me. I don't even know what you are, and now you're saying we're bound. Look, I'm just a human. I fix machines. I don't belong in whatever world you're talking about. Tirana's lips pressed into a thin line, her expression a mix of frustration and urgency. You do not understand, human. In my world, the bond is sacred. It is a destiny older than any empire, older than the stars. When it appears, the one marked becomes linked to the chosen warrior. Your life and mine, they are now connected. Eli swallowed hard. His hands trembled as he touched the glowing mark. A jolt of energy ran through him, and suddenly he could feel Tirana's presence in a way that was almost physical. It was like her emotions, her thoughts, and even her intentions were brushing against his mind. Fear, determination, and longing all surged through him at once. I don't want this, he said, his voice weak. I don't even know you. How can my life be connected to yours? I barely understand myself. Tirana stepped closer. You don't have a choice. The bond chose you, human, and the moment it awakened, the universe took notice. Eli glanced around the chamber nervously. The station groaned and shifted, and the hum of energy pulsed through every panel and wire. The universe noticed? What does that mean? Before Tirana could answer, the floor vibrated beneath them. A loud metallic roar echoed through the corridors. Lights flashed red as panels exploded with sparks. Drones emerged from hidden ports hovering in the air, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. Eli stumbled back, eyes wide. What is that? Tirana's eyes narrowed. The station's defense systems. They recognize the bond's awakening. They will attack anyone who carries the mark. Stay behind me. Eli nodded, though fear gripped him like ice. He had never fought anyone in his life, but instinctively he felt a surge of courage as the mark pulsed on his chest. Something inside him, something stronger than fear, told him to trust Tirana. Tirana raised her hands, and suddenly glowing energy blades extended from her gauntlets. They hummed with a bright violet light, slicing through the drone's energy blasts effortlessly. Eli watched, amazed as she moved with the speed and precision of a predator. The drones fired again, and Eli instinctively ducked and rolled, almost as if the mark was guiding him. He could feel Tirana's intentions in his mind, and when she moved, he anticipated her actions. When she struck, he dodged, almost like their bodies were moving as one. This is insane, Eli muttered, barely keeping his balance. I've never done anything like this in my life. Tirana's voice was calm but urgent. Focus, human. The bond is not only a symbol, it is a connection of strength. The more you trust it, the stronger it makes you. Eli swallowed hard and took a deep breath. He tried to center himself. The mark pulsed brighter, and he felt a wave of energy surge through him. Suddenly, his reflexes sharpened. He reached for a fallen metal pipe and swung it instinctively at a drone. Sparks flew as it collided with the drone's hull, disabling it. Good, Tirana said, her eyes glowing brighter. You are learning faster than I expected. They moved together through the station, Tirana leading the way and Eli following, his confidence slowly building. Every encounter with a drone made the bond stronger, and Eli could feel their connection deepening. The fear that had gripped him earlier was replaced by determination. Finally, they reached a central chamber. The room was massive, with a high ceiling and walls covered in alien runes. In the center, a strange energy field pulsed, connecting to several consoles. Tirana stopped and turned to him. This is the heart of the station, she explained. Here lies the power that once ruled this sector. If we can control it, we can protect ourselves, and possibly awaken more of the bond's strength. Eli approached one of the consoles, examining it carefully. I can work with this, he said. If I can reroute the energy, maybe we can create a shield or something to stop the drones. Tirana's eyes widened slightly. You can manipulate it? I can try, he said. It's just energy. I fix machines for a living. I know circuits and connections. Give me a moment. While Eli worked on rerouting the energy, Tirana kept watch. Drones occasionally appeared, firing at them. But Eli's adjustments began to stabilize the field. Slowly, the pulsing energy in the room began to synchronize with the mark on his chest. Tirana watched in awe. The bond. It resonates with your skill. I did not think a human could interface with this power. Eli's hands moved quickly, rerouting energy flows, adjusting circuits, and calibrating the field. He could feel the mark guiding him, almost like it knew exactly what needed to be done. The pulsing grew stronger, and a protective dome of shimmering energy formed around them. There, Eli said, breathing heavily. That should hold them off for now. Tirana stepped closer, studying him. You are extraordinary, human. Not because of the mark, but because you have the courage to embrace it. Most would have panicked. Most would have run, but you stand. Eli shook his head, still trying to catch his breath. I don't know if I'm brave. I'm just trying to survive. Tirana smiled faintly. Survival is not the measure of courage. Courage is standing when fate chooses you, even when you do not understand why. That is what makes a true partner of the bond. Eli looked down at the glowing mark on his chest. It throbbed in time with his heartbeat, and he felt an odd sense of belonging, as if it had always been part of him. I don't know what's going to happen next, he admitted. But if this bond means we have to face it together, then I guess I'll try. Tirana nodded, placing a hand lightly on his shoulder. Then you will not fail. As long as we stand together, the bond will guide us. And soon, human, you will understand the power you carry. Eli swallowed hard, the weight of her words sinking in. The bond was not just a mark. It was a connection, A destiny, and now it tied him to Tirana in ways he could barely comprehend. The station might be abandoned. The drones might attack again. But for the first time in his life, Eli felt a strange certainty, a sense that he had been chosen for something far greater than himself. And deep inside, he wondered what exactly had he been chosen for. The protective dome of energy flickered faintly, casting a soft blue light across the chamber. Eli wiped sweat from his forehead, his heart still pounding from the drone attacks. Despite the danger, a strange calm had settled over him. The mark on his chest pulsed steadily, as if sensing the rhythm of his thoughts, and with it came a connection he still didn't fully understand. Tirana stood beside him, her violet eyes scanning the room, alert and vigilant. "You need to know the truth," Tirana said, her voice low and serious. "The bond, it is older than any empire. It was created to connect souls capable of shaping the universe itself. It chooses the one who can wield its strength and the partner who can share it. That is why it has chosen you." Eli frowned, his hands brushing the mark nervously. "Me? I'm just a human. I fix machines. I've never fought in a war. Never. Commanded armies, never." He stopped, realizing the words sounded small even to him. The weight of Tirana's gaze made him feel tiny. Tirana shook her head. "It is not your past that matters. It is your potential. The bond recognizes the ability to endure, to adapt, and to survive. Humans, your species, has always surprised the universe. That is why it chose you." Eli tried to process her words, but his mind refused to focus. The station groaned again, and the air shimmered with tension. He touched the mark, and a sudden wave of images flashed before his eyes. Stars exploding, ships burning, strange landscapes filled with alien cities, and a single armored figure standing tall amidst destruction. He stumbled backward, blinking rapidly. What is happening?" Tirana's voice was calm, yet urgent. "Those are memories, visions from the bond. I see my past, and now you can feel it too. You are connected to me, Eli. You will experience some of my life, and I will sense yours. It is the bond's way of preparing us for what is coming." Eli pressed a hand to his chest, the pulsing mark warming under his fingers. He felt Tirana's fear, her determination, even the lingering grief of losing her empire. It was overwhelming, but also strange. He could feel her trust in him, her hope for survival. The bond was not just physical, it was emotional, mental, and something beyond his comprehension. "You're saying I can feel your memories?" Eli asked, his voice trembling. "Yes," Tirana replied softly, "and eventually you will see the truth behind the bond. My empire fell because we relied on our power without understanding it. I survived, waiting for the bond to choose the next partner. That partner is you." Eli's mind spun. "Wait, so this mark, it wasn't supposed to happen to me. Humans weren't meant to be part of this?" Tirana's expression softened, tinged with awe. "Never. The bond usually chooses someone of my species, but something about your DNA, your strength, it resonated. You were compatible. That is why the mark appeared." The energy in the chamber pulsed stronger, responding to the bond. Eli felt a strange surge of power, his muscles tingling and his reflexes sharpening. The visions became more intense, flashes of Tirana's battles, of alien armies clashing, of her standing alone against overwhelming odds. And then suddenly he saw himself in those visions fighting alongside her, moving with a precision he had never known. He stumbled backward, breathing heavily. I can see it. I'm in your memories?" "Yes," Tirana said softly, "and you are learning. The bond will teach you, human. But there is danger. Those who destroyed my empire are still alive. They will sense the bond, and they will come for us." Eli's stomach twisted. "They're coming? Now?" Tirana shook her head. "Soon. We must prepare. The bond is awakening powers that have not been seen for centuries. You may feel them now. but it will grow stronger. And if we are not ready—" She paused, her voice barely above a whisper. "We may not survive." Eli clenched his fists, looking down at the glowing mark. A strange resolve filled him. He was just a mechanic, an ordinary human. But now he was part of something far greater, something that could change the fate of entire worlds. "All right," he said, his voice firmer than he expected. "I don't fully understand this bond, or why it chose me. But I know one thing. I'm not running. I'll face whatever comes with you." Tirana's violet eyes softened, a small smile forming on her lips. "You have courage, human. That is why the bond works with you. Most would have panicked, but you stand. And standing is the first step toward true power." The station trembled again, and the hum of energy from the central core grew louder. Eli walked toward the consoles, studying the alien symbols that controlled the station. He touched the controls experimentally, and the energy responded to him, flowing in a way that felt natural, guided by the bond. "See?" Tirana said. "Even without training, your mind and body resonate with the bond's energy. Together, we can control it." Eli's eyes widened. "Control it? But what is it really?" Tirana stepped closer, placing a hand gently on his shoulder. "It is the power to protect, to create, to defend. But it is also a warning. If misused, it can destroy everything. That is why the bond is so rare, and why it has chosen you." Eli felt the warmth of her hand, and with it, a strange sense of connection deepened. He could feel her emotions clearly now: concern, hope, and a quiet longing. The bond was no longer just a mark on his chest. It was a bridge between their minds, hearts, and destinies. Suddenly, the chamber's alarms blared. Red lights flashed violently, and the station shook as though something massive had entered. Eli felt a tremor under his feet and grabbed onto a console for balance. "They are here," Tirana said sharply. Her eyes narrowed and energy blades extended from her gauntlets. "The ones who destroyed my empire, they have found us, and they will not stop until the bond is taken from you." Eli's heart raced. He had never fought in his life, and yet the mark pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat, giving him courage. He felt Tirana's confidence flow into him, strengthening him, guiding his movements. "They're going to come through the main corridor," Tirana said, her gaze fixed on the entrance. "We must hold them off until I can stabilize the station's defenses. Are you ready, human?" Eli nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and determination. I'll do my best." The first wave of attackers appeared, sleek, dark ships, hovering just outside the station's transparent walls. Energy beams cut through the air, striking the walls with violent force. Tirana moved with incredible speed, deflecting blasts and closing in on the attackers. Eli followed instinctively, guided by the bond, feeling strength and reflexes he had never known. For the first time, he realized that the mark on his chest was more than a symbol of connection. It was a source of power, and together with Tirana, they could stand against impossible odds. As the battle raged around them, Eli and Tirana moved as one. Every movement, every strike, every pulse of energy flowed between them. The bond had awakened fully, linking not only their strength but their minds. They could anticipate each other's actions, cover each other's weaknesses, and fight with perfect coordination. And in the middle of the chaos, Eli understood the truth. The bond was not just a connection of fate. It was a test of courage, trust, and the willingness to face the unknown. He had been chosen not for his strength, but for his heart. And now, the real challenge was only beginning. The station shuddered violently as the alien fleet appeared on the horizon, a line of dark, massive ships cutting across the red glow of the nearby star. Their weapons glimmered with lethal energy, aimed at the station and its defenders. Eli's chest throbbed as the mark glowed brighter than ever, reacting to the threat. He could feel Tirana's presence inside his mind like never before. Her determination, her fear, her hope, and an unshakable confidence that they could survive. "This is it, human," Tirana said, her voice steady but intense. They are the ones who destroyed my empire. They will not stop until the bond is taken from you. We must face them together. Eli swallowed hard, gripping his tools and weapons. Though he was a human and not a warrior by training, the bond had awakened strength and reflexes inside him he had never imagined. Every thought, every instinct was linked to Tirana. He could anticipate her moves, sense danger before it arrived, and feel the energy of the station itself guiding his actions. "I'm ready," he said, his voice steady, though his heart pounded. "Let's do this." Tirana nodded and raised her gauntlets. Energy blades extended with a hum that filled the chamber. The station's walls glimmered as defensive shields activated, reacting to the mark on Eli's chest. Together they stepped toward the entrance, ready to face the enemy. The alien ships fired first. Brilliant beams of energy sliced through space, striking the station's hull with violent force. The shields flared, absorbing most of the impact, but the station groaned under the strain. Tirana moved with perfect precision, deflecting blasts with her blades and launching attacks that disabled several drones. Eli followed instinctively, using improvised weapons and his knowledge of the station's systems to assist. Every pulse of the mark made him faster, stronger, and more coordinated with Tirana. "Stay close," Tirana shouted as a massive drone burst through a doorway. Eli rolled to the side, grabbing a fallen energy panel and swinging it with all his strength. Sparks flew as it collided with the drone, disabling it. The bond pulsed warmly, a silent acknowledgement of his effort. They moved together like a single entity, striking, dodging, and defending. Eli could feel Tirana's thoughts, every calculation, every strategy, flowing into his mind. At the same time, he felt his own courage and creativity influencing her. The bond was no longer just a mark. It was a connection that made them stronger than any enemy could anticipate. Suddenly, the leader of the alien fleet appeared on the station's main display, a massive warship, bristling with weapons and shields. Its presence was overwhelming, and Eli felt the bond tighten like a heartbeat racing through his chest. Tirana's gaze hardened. "This is their command ship," she said. "It controls the rest of the fleet. If we take it down, we can end this battle." Eli looked at her, determination solidifying in his chest. "Then that's what we'll do. Let's end this." The two of them moved toward the central energy core, the heart of the station. The mark pulsed in rhythm with Eli's heartbeat, channeling energy through him and connecting it to Tirana. As they approached, he could feel the immense power waiting to be unleashed. Power that had been dormant for centuries, now awakened by the bond. Tirana placed a hand on his shoulder. "You must focus, human. The bond will guide the energy, but you must control it with your mind. Trust yourself, and trust me." Eli nodded. He closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the warmth of the mark and Tirana's presence. He concentrated, letting the energy flow from the station into himself, and then into the bond that connected him to Tirana. A surge of strength flooded his body, and for the first time he felt completely capable of facing the impossible. The alien command ship fired again, massive energy beams aimed directly at the station. Eli raised his hands instinctively, letting the energy from the bond flow outward. A brilliant shield of light erupted around them, deflecting the beams and sending them scattering into space. Tirana joined him, channeling her own power into the shield, strengthening it further. Together they created a barrier that no enemy fire could penetrate. "They won't stop," Tirana said. "We have to strike." Eli felt the energy thrumming in his chest, the bond guiding him. He reached out to the console and rerouted the station's power directly into the mark. A wave of glowing energy erupted from him, shooting toward the alien command ship. Tirana channeled the energy further, shaping it into a beam of pure force. The fleet commander's ship screamed as the energy hit it. Shields flickered, weapons malfunctioned, and explosions tore through its hull. The other ships faltered, their coordination disrupted as their command link was broken. Eli and Tirana had done the impossible. They had turned the tide of the battle. Eli felt the bond pulse stronger than ever, a warm, steady rhythm that filled him with a sense of purpose. Tirana looked at him, her eyes shining with awe and gratitude. "You've done it, human. You've controlled the power and saved us both." He smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. "I couldn't have done it without you. The bond? It guided me, but it was our trust that made it work." The enemy ships retreated, their formation broken and their energy weapons offline. The station trembled one final time before stabilizing, and the shield slowly dimmed, leaving the chamber glowing softly in the aftermath of the battle. Tirana approached Eli, placing a hand on his chest directly over the mark. "The bond is calm now," she said, her voice soft. "But it will never fade completely. We are bound, forever." Eli looked down at the glowing symbol, now pulsing gently like a heartbeat. He felt a warmth spread through him, not just from the energy but from the connection he shared with Tirana. "Bound forever," he repeated. "I never thought I'd hear words like that, and mean them." Tirana smiled faintly, stepping closer. "You don't need to understand everything right now. You only need to accept that this bond chose you, and together, we will face whatever comes next." Eli nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose. He was no longer just a human mechanic. He was part of something larger, a force that could protect, defend, and perhaps even change the course of the universe. And for the first time, he felt that he was exactly where he was meant to be. The station was quiet now, the threat gone, but the bond remained. Eli could still feel Tirana's thoughts, her emotions, and her trust. It was not a burden but a gift, a connection that would guide them both through whatever challenges lay ahead. "I don't know what the future holds," Eli said quietly. "But I'm not afraid. Not anymore." Tirana placed her hand over his, her violet eyes meeting his. "Nor should you be, human. The bond has chosen us, and together, we are unstoppable. Fate has brought us here, and destiny will carry us forward." Eli felt a calm determination wash over him. The mark on his chest pulsed gently, a reminder of the bond that linked him to Tirana forever. For the first time, he realized that he was not just surviving. He was thriving, connected to someone who saw him not as a human alone, but as an equal, a partner, and a force to be reckoned with. And as they stood side by side, looking out at the stars beyond the station, Eli understood the truth: their journey was only beginning. The bond would guide them, protect them, and challenge them. But together, they could face anything. The station hummed softly, the glow of the mark reflecting in Eli's eyes. The bond had awakened fully, and with it a new chapter of destiny had begun. One that neither he nor Tirana could have imagined, but one they would face together, bound forever.